As we've been telling you the entire season, the family's middle child, Caffrey, has Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. And a big goal of this renovation is to make this house as accessible for him as it is for everybody else. A few months ago, before we broke ground, I sat down with Caffrey's parents, Billy and Michelle, to learn more about Caffrey's condition and also their goals for this renovation. Tell me about the family.
5 of us, 3 kids, and Michelle and I. Caffrey is our middle child. He's 12 and has Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy.
Can you tell me about this disease?
Basically what happens in Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy is the muscle cells can't repair themselves. So over time, there's a weakening of the muscles, and these muscles are affected everywhere in the body, not just the ones that help us walk and stand, but also the ones that help us breathe and have our hearts be able to beat regularly. So it really takes over the entire body. This is a catastrophic diagnosis. It's one where, over time, like the numbers of years that a person will be able to live with this condition will be limited. And even though it's not happening today, even though Caffrey will have many years ahead of him still, you still grieve, like, the typical life that every parent wants to have for their kid.
When did you tell Caffrey about the disease?
I think it was probably a couple of weeks after the official diagnosis, which is when we shared the news. And I will never forget that weekend that we told him. In some ways, it was a bit of a relief for him to actually have a name. Like, he knew he was different. And it was a little bit reassuring to know, oh, okay, it has a name. It actually is a real thing. It's not just, in my head or just something I can't do. It's actually something that's going on. And so I think there was a bit of a relief. But then there was a fear that came from it too. And it was probably the next day after we told him where he asked us, am I going to die from this?
And what did you say?
What we said is, our job is to figure out everything that we can possibly do to make sure that he can have a long and fulfilling life just like we want for all of our kids. And none of us knows when we're going to die. So let's not worry about that right now. Let's focus on what it is that we can do to make sure that you get the best care possible. I mean, he's got so much courage, right? And he just takes it in stride. I have to say, for somebody with that type of diagnosis, you wouldn't normally expect this type of happy-go-lucky kind of attitude, just live in the moment and just be a kid. But that is what he is, and he just does what he needs to do.
And so what is it that you're trying to do with the renovation specifically? How does it help Caffrey, and what are you hoping that it's going to do for your family and for him?
It's very much about how do we make it more accessible? How do we make it as comfortable as possible? How do we make sure that we're thinking about the things that are going to make life as easy as possible so that all of us, not just Caffrey, right, but all of us can be together as a family and enjoy our environment together.
And be independent. That's important. His ability to come home from school by himself, get himself a snack, go to his room, do whatever he needs to do without anything being a hindrance at all. And that's why we're doing this renovation.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.